since I spent some LP on Pinello recently, I may as well spend a little bit of LP here. I don't have a ton, but I can actually aim for another swiftness with Ash if I get one of these magic laws. Renew. I believe that's a full heal, but it's kind of funny how most of White Mage's stuff is down here, and then there's some White Magic up here. Is there, like, anything I can get in Black Mage? Serenity looks like it's something good to go for, so I might just grab that so I can advance towards Serenity. As for Barsh, I have a Swiftness I can get there. Oh, and pretty cheap for a level 3 quickening, but that means that I'm locking Barsh into getting some mid-tier magic, which I'm not sure will be that helpful later on. I'd probably rather, because Knight eventually, not there, but like one of Knight's, yeah, Curaga and Regen's pretty nice, but yeah, here we go. So this requires an Esper, I think, but Knight does get some really good buff magic. So maybe I'd rather focus on that, but I would also like to go for Remedy Law, because, like, again, I'm not the biggest authority on this game, but I do remember that the boss that's coming up at the end of the Golmore Jungle, Remedy Laws. Remedy Laws are extremely valuable for this boss. And in fact, I'll just get another Remedy Law. Battle Law, Phoenix Law. I'm sure there's, like, a better magic thing somewhere down here. Traitor's Bow. Interesting. Actually, Fran really doesn't have much in the way of accessories right now, so I might as well just advance her a little bit in the accessory front. For Balthier, oh, I have another Swiftness, I should obviously grab that. And then in Knights, I don't really have a lot of good sword licenses on Balthier at the moment, which is kind of going to ruin me grabbing the Shell Shield with him early, because what use is a shield license if you can't really equip a good sword to go along with it? And now for Varn. Varn, what was Varn going to do? Oh, that's it. I wanted to head towards shield block as quickly as possible. I'm more likely to see Shields 4 before I see Shields 5 in terms of shops, and yep, Shield Block. We'll want to get that eventually, because that makes Shikari's ridiculous evasion tanks, but from here, I guess I can use another Gate Crystal to head back to Jahara. That's probably the most convenient way to get to where I want to go. The Henne mines, though, are past that Chocobo path. And both those Imperials are either sleeping on the job or extremely dead. That's worrying.
Researchers from the Draclaw laboratory. What were they doing here?
Research.
That was a very ominous way of saying research. I'm guessing it's the kind of research that involves live test subjects with a very low survival rate. Yeah, we've been hearing a lot about the Draclaw laboratory. Oh, hey, my Chocobo's still here, I think. I thought that you'd lose them forever if you got off of them. Oh no, it's just a wayward Chocobo. Separated from its friends, it looks lonely. I'm sorry, I have to. Do you think you can ride this Chocobo? No, thanks. Sorry. I can't really do that a lot because it will destroy my throat, but, I know it's so you think you can ride this Chocobo, I think, but it's weird. I'm pretty sure that song was meant to be bad, like, it's meant to be a parody. But I am drawing an absolute blank on this part of the game. So, I'm honestly really... Why don't I remember this part? I could have sworn, like the Henne mines, I remember them being totally optional. Okay, just Seekers. We've seen these things before. What are you arrowing at? I guess these things are so vulnerable. Oh, I remember the music of this place now. Yeah, now I remember. Yeah, there's a reason why the music here is really epic, because, well, as I've said, we don't get to explore much of this now. This is very much a late-game bonus dungeon. It's actually pretty much post-game. There's a blocked gate there, and also we have an exclamation mark. But first, we have a ban. It's probably not worth wasting MP on, honestly. Because just like one hit from Barsh and one from Lasha, I kind of mixed their names there, but that generally does it, so... And now I think about it, maybe I do remember this place. Oh, yeah, I thought that because of the color change in that switch, I was like, oh yeah, it's a gate puzzle, isn't it? Huh. Oh, hi there, jump scare. Redmore. Okay, that's different. Guessing it's some kind of vampire bat. I didn't actually look up my list of rare game to see if there was any rare game in the Golmore Jungle I could have found, but I get the feeling probably not really anything that I could take on at this point. Advisory, gate operation. For immediate distribution and posting, the color of the switchboard phosphor corresponds with gates currently closed. I could figure that out on my own. Accordingly, use of the switchboard opens gates of the color presently illuminated. Note that your desired route and open and shut gates as required. It follows one cannot open red and blue gates simultaneously. Yeah, pretty much. Workers' weekly wisdom. No accidents, no injuries, no worries. Okay, that's kind of nice. I like it when they put like gameplay hints in terms of like in-character sort of flavor. I can't believe that I've completely forgotten about this area. Yeah, I am a little worried. Advisory the First! The progenitor of the advisory line. Noxious vapors and fumes are an ever-present threat within the mine. Yeah, tell me about it. If you look at the bestiary, they actually created the Urstrix. Should you feel you've been affected, report at once to the infirmary. Weekly Workers' Wisdom. Our workers are our greatest resource. Well, I get the feeling it's like, report to the infirmary. But if the condition is advanced any further, then we will put you in isolation and as you turn into a horrible monster and destroy everything. It's like all bats all the time in this place. I know there were some really... Holy crap, that's a lot of them. Yeah, I had a feeling they'd start attacking in large numbers later on because they were a little weak to be a threat one-on-one. Self-sacrifice. Okay. I believe somebody just cast some kind of a gravity thing, and thank you, Larsa, for the poison cure. I know there are some, as I was saying before I got interrupted, there are some really... Oh look, a Redmore that I can't see. Hi, I spoiled the jump scare in advance. Yeah, Ash's arrow just decimates everything. Black Mage is pretty powerful in this game. But yeah, there are some bats in like the post-game segment of the Henne mines that are just, they are downright evil. I remember that. I never actually went to the post-game segment of this place on my first playthrough. Because, I guess I can say it now. This place is the domain of the strongest optional Esper in the game. One of the game's effectively super bosses. And, it's the one Esper I never got in the original. So I will probably end up getting it in this playthrough, but again, that is not until like definitely post-game. It is a very like, it's like mid-70s something, and I don't really want to spoil the level that you should be at for the final boss in this game, but it's actually not that high. There's a lot of effectively post-game content. And the Henne Mines is, why is that bat like away from something? That is not, doesn't bode well. At least the fact that we're pretty much seeing all bats all the time means that... Is it just me or is this... Okay, neither of them were mimics. I thought one of them looked slightly different for a second there. So we are at Phase 1 dig. I think Phase 2 is the post-game portion. Okay, now I'm getting great shades of... I mean, I suppose they look kind of like real mines, but I'm getting great shades of the Ether Mine from Xenoblade 1. Crooked Fang, Wind Magicite. was about to say I'd appreciate fighting something here that's not a bat, then I realized that would kill my chain, so maybe I wouldn't appreciate fighting something that's not a bat. More of these crooked fangs. Oh! Speaking of which, a nightmare. Yeah, often there's like, you know, nightmares are a kind of a stock name for evil horses, because... Oh no! Well, somebody has a gambit to use gold needles. As far as, as far as stuff goes, I'm probably out of gold... Oh, no, I'm not out of gold needles. Didn't realize we'd be encountering petrify traps in here, though, but as far as traps go, petrify on the whole party is pretty, pretty not good. I do like how epic this place is. It's just like, I remember most of the rest of, hang on a second. Do I have any float motes? I don't think I do, actually. Larsa doesn't have float, does he? No, he just has balance. Well, he's about to step on that. Oh, Sten Needle is... Sten Needle tends to do massive damage to one character and minor damage to everyone else. Balthier stepped on one of those off camera in the Osmone plane. But yeah, like, with that inevitability of Larsa stepping on that, it just made me think of that quote from Blackadder, and just when we were about to say, don't tread on a mine, he trod on a mine. Which is something that also brings me back to Valkyria Chronicles. I mean, I used to never really need the engineer ability to defuse mines in that game until that one map where suddenly, like, you need to get infantry to the end, so you have to pass through this one area that's just full of, kind of like this thing, it's like a Medusa horse, that's kind of interesting, but, it's just full of, oh, hi there, passageway that's not marked on my map. Blind. Yeah, blind's not bad, although I wish I had an AoE blind cure on somebody. Haste gun mode. Okay, that's going to be saved for a boss fight. Because I do know, I know that I've said this before, but in case you're just coming to this part and haven't seen earlier parts, you don't actually get Haste gun until like a really, really, really late game optional dungeon, so... Yeah, the motes for it are probably a bit more useful than some of the other motes. Now the Medusa horse, I think it has some kind of status ailment attack, but don't really think it does, it's just kind of kicking us. I wonder if I should switch Barsh over a toenail. Ugh. Switch Barsh over to like a, spear just for variety's sake? I don't know. Yeah, well, that bat obviously noticed the moment where I only had a few seconds to leave gravity mode. Was this entire... Oh, actually, no, there's more to this. I don't know, like, I haven't even switched over that gate from before. Balance mode. There are a lot of modes in this place. Oh, look, it's a pair of, these things that are traveling in a pack. Oh, yeah, they can teleport. I remember these things being able to teleport. Well, not so much these things specifically, but there's like a stronger version that shows up later in the game. In another optional dungeon. Nello's crossbow looks kind of cool. I still love this part of the song, it's just so needlessly epic. It's just a mine. But I mean, I suppose with the implications of what the Magicite is being used for, I guess it makes sense that we have, this sort of ominous feeling in the air. Is that like... Oh, Griamore Togale, it's not a toenail. It's like, Griamore Toenail, why would you write down spells on a toenail? But I mean, you know, there could be some kind of eldritch horror that left behind its ancient eldritch toenails and people transcribe evil spells on them. Yes, they get invincibility frames while they're teleporting, because of course they do. Oh, Larsa's potioning himself. Okay, back into a relatively civilized looking area. I'm actually kind of glad that Barsh's attack got parried there, because it was going to die to Ash's spell anyway. Bone Crusher, okay. Alright, that's a technique, isn't it? It's the one that, like, lowers your HP, and I believe if the attack misses, your character instantly dies, so it might really not be the best thing to focus on. Oh, high trap. Is there any way that I can avoid that? I don't know, and with a party of 4, I don't see it, so... Explosion is not the worst thing in the world. Of all of the traps it could have been, Explosion is really not that bad. I know I keep saying this, but like, how is it that I remember every other area on our journey to Mount Bur Omises and not this one? I just completely blotted out from my mind, this area. Has anyone leveled up yet? Okay, we are all 23. I guess it's just we're on the way to 24 now. Oh. Is that too strong for us at this point? No, especially since it's weak to wind. I'm not even going to try and attack that bad. I'm just going to wait for Ash to arrow and destroy everything.
Yeah.
Come on, Ash, hit this thing with arrow. In fact, I'll tell you to do it myself just to make sure you do. I feel like somewhat bad for that T-Rex thing, honestly. Glad that he's automatically curing poison, though. I mean, it was just minding its own business in these mines, and then a bunch of random people came in and killed it because it was dangerous looking. Okay, can't get through there anyway. Except, you know, we can just go through the other way. Come on, please, die that, and the T-Rex died before the bat. That's something. I think we are... Yep, we cannot progress any further that way. Unless we're nearly at the end of this place, I feel like... Ah! These might be our first poorly disguised mimics! So, yeah... Thunderbug, that's a cool name, but, you kind of fail your job because the chests in this place obviously don't look like this. I love this. I love how terribly disguised the mimics are in later dungeons. Like, they look cool, but again, it's just like, you know, it kind of defeats the point of mimicking objects if, you know, you're like, oh, look, it's a chair that's purple with pink spots. Clearly, this is a normal, everyday household object. Yeah, but the poorly disguised mimics is something from this game I actually do remember from my first playthrough. They get even, like, their disguises get even worse later on. I'm really looking forward to the stained glass window looking mimics. They're just like, sort of blue orichalcum and stained glass colored. They expect that people will actually mistake them for real chests. Or maybe they just think people will think they're a special chest that contains extra special items, but no. Just a mimic being terrible at disguising itself. I don't know why I find that so funny, I just kind of do. I don't really know any other RPG that has mimics as badly disguised as this game. It's just always been part of its charm to me. And there goes your essence absorbed into Pinello. Okay, I guess we're going to get to the other side of a door that we couldn't pass through before. And we have a switch here. Red switch, and we can't get anywhere from in here. So no choice but to activate this one and turn the switches blue. Fortunately, this isn't nearly as annoying as some of the Well, by turning the switch blue, we also turn the whole room blue, it seems. Well, they're dying surprisingly. Okay then, wow. Phantasmal Gaze. The backup plan of a certain character from Trails of Cold Steel, and that's all I'll say here. This area just looks like an amazing place to abuse AoE spells, and a great place to chain and grind too. Like, holy crap. They die quickly and... I mean, they poison you pretty easily. Oh, right, they split themselves. This is... I'll be honest, this is not what I expected out of this room. Spears of Water Magicite, Yellow Liquid... Yellow Liquid... Oh. I wonder if they were an experiment by this guy and then, you know, that happened. Researcher's log, day... I've forgotten. It has been 2 days since there were 2 jellies. There are now infinity jellies. What have we done? I don't know why I'm a little bit weird in this episode. Not really sure why. I guess I'm just the kind of surreal feeling of being an area I remember like nothing of. But thinking on it now, I do vaguely remember the jelly room. And it's probably like the sequel to the skeleton room in that it's a great place to grind. Like, if I go back in there, are the jellies going to respawn? Because that was honestly kind of fun. If you just set everyone's gambits to AoE attacks, like if I turn the switch red and then I turn it blue again, are the jellies going to come back? Oh, no jellies. Oh, okay, I guess we're on the other side of that, place from before and... Oh, okay, right, we're back here, except that these switches are a different color now, so we can probably get further through a different place now. That's probably what you're expected to do here. And on the one hand, I would say that Barsh needs to find better things to do with his time than just blindly attacking, but on the other hand, there's really not a lot that he can do. And I can finally switch up my party now, because I wanted to switch Barn back in. I wanted to try him out with katanas. And Volthia has no gambits on. I need to get better about realizing that. So hopefully Fran's arrow should be at least doing somewhat okay amounts of damage to these things. Unfortunately, Fran isn't doing anything. I should probably switch her to her other gambit set that just focuses on using arrow on 3+ enemies. I was gonna go on a tangent about romance side quests in games because that happened like in the previous part, but well, then the jellies attacked. And then everything changed. That's the thing about playing sort of semi-blind. A lot of my topics get interrupted, but that's mostly because I'm not fully aware of what happens next. Like, I could be going through the Golmore jungle and then, speaking of which, cutscene here. Didn't know there'd be a cutscene.
Look at the magicite. These mines much resemble the ones at Lusu. Of course, Draclaw must be searching for new sources of ore. Should the resistance forces move, the rich veins of magicite in Bujeba will be forever beyond their grasp.
Is it her? What is this mist? Man.
The stench of fumes. The stench of power. What's wrong with her?
Stay away! Power-needy Hume!
I do think I remember that line, though. There's a gate crystal in here? I suppose it's for us to be able to get out quickly after we've found Mjörn, because that's just what we came in here for. Yeah, sometimes dungeons have gate crystals in them, which is kind of cool. As I said earlier, this place is kind of, wouldn't want to miss one of these. Advisory the Second. Should you encounter beasts within the mine, no matter how trivial, withdraw at once. A specialist crew will be dispatched to assist. Workers' weekly wisdom. Discretion is the better part of valor. You stole that from, like, general proverbs. There should be a further advisory about, if the specialty team does not report back within several days, they have probably entered the bad part of the dungeon. Oh, okay, I do vaguely recall this. So, surprise boss fight. This here is Tiamat. Okay, hi there, ultimate evil from Dungeons and Dragons in some settings. Except it's casting Reflect now, which I can dispel. So I want to see if it's like weak to wind or something. Oh, it is, because Ash is casting Arrow. However, before we do anything with that, Ash needs to dispel that. Which I learned earlier from a hunt that Dispel does work against, Reflect. Oh, great, yeah, you seem to... Huh. Or, you know, Arrow just heals you. Okay, so it's not weak to any of those things, and she's just going straight for Arrow based on this Gambit set, so... No, I'm gonna switch her out, and see if Penelo can get something like Slow, or, well, I mean, she probably has to dispel as Reflect first. Yeah, it looks like it's just gonna keep going for Reflect, so I kind of doubt we'll be able to get, most... Yeah, I'm guessing Rake is an AoE attack, most things off, but... Penelo can at least attempt to use Slow or something. Oh, Arrow, yeah, so obviously it is wind reliant. It's the exact opposite of what I thought it would be. And I'm... no Slow, so I'm guessing that Slow is immune Slow. Yeah, this thing really doesn't like magic users. Keeps going for Reflect on them. So in that case, I mean, it kind of makes sense for Fran to be here, but this is probably the most optimal party for a boss that likes to spam Reflect. Despite the fact that it's probably not the most interesting fight to watch this way. Oh, my step count is not nearly good enough for Traveler. So I believe Traveler only takes into account the last 3 digits of your step count, so the closer you are to 999, the better it is, and this is very far from 999. What kinds of techniques does, actually, do you have any good techniques? First Aid, Shades of Black. Well, that's not going to help with that thing reflected. Libra, First Aid, Infuse. Yeah, you don't really have anything that great. Oh, I should have had you bubbling people. Actually, if I want to do a little bit more of an interesting strategy here... okay, I can switch this up in the middle of a fight. That's... Shield. And Penelo. Decoy me. Decoy missed, apparently. I don't know if that's caused by Vitality or not, but, it can do that sometimes, which is annoying. Okay, so now, got its attention, and yep, see, look at that. Blocked a 3-hit attack. Takes pretty solid damage from Drain too, actually. Of course, Breath is not going to work with Decoy. And there's Sap. Yep, Sap is bad. Do you have regen? Yes, you can do that to get rid of Sap. Because, yeah, as you can see, Sap actually does get rid of your health pretty quickly. There are some Malboros later on in the game that can inflict Sap. The absolute worst combo, though, is Sap plus Disease. It's pretty nasty, and you might end up seeing that later, and okay then, let's just straight up quickening you to death. I haven't summoned on Ash in ages. And if you're worried about summons versus reflect, as I've said before, summons pierce reflect in this version. They did not in the vanilla version, though. Vaughn still has Pyroclasm and Revenant Wings, by the way. In fact, I think it's his only quickening in that game. I think Penello's quickening in that game changed into a healing one? Almost got Intercession there, but I did get 3 Pyroclasms that time. Don't know which of the concurrences I'll get here. It always goes for the strongest concurrence if you fulfill the conditions for multiple of them. 3 level 3s though. I wonder what that's going to get me. No, this looks like, yeah, Windburst again. I think the Lightning one is kind of hard to get. And then Black Hole, I think, requires either 2 or 3 of each level. It almost looked like it was going to collapse into Fireflies for a second. Actually, it kind of did. But that's the wrong universe. We're going to get the victory screen? Hey, there we go. It's kind of a shame you don't see these for most bosses because they lead directly into cutscenes.
That thing inside her, what was it?
Is it you? When the Hume soldiers came to the wood, the village took small heed of them. So long as the wood herself is safe from harm, the Viera give little care to goings-on beyond her. But in me, an uneasiness stirred. I had to discover why they had come.
So you came here hoping to find something out and got yourself caught. You're as foolhardy as your sister.
They took me then, and set close beside me a stone. They said its mist would be drawn into me, that the Viera well suited this end. I saw the light coming from the stone, and then...
We have seen this. On Leviathan, the mist released from the Dawn Shard drove me too into such a rage. She was taken not by the Dawn Shard.
Manufactured nethicite. Then that means... Penello, the stone I gave you, do you still carry it with you?
Sure, it's right here.
This is a thing more dangerous again than I had imagined. I should never have given it to you. Forgive me, I didn't know.
I'd always thought of it as sort of a good luck charm. And even if it is dangerous, on Leviathan it kept us safe.
there is a place for all things, even danger such as this.
I hope you're right about that.
Suppose it's all about how you use something. Now we know those can drive Vieira berserk.
I heard the woods whispers. Take it. Lente's tear is a permission. Pass through the wood and leave. To other places go.
That cannot be all. I saw it when I left the village. Ivalice is changing. How can the Vieira stand and do nothing at all?
Ivalice is for the Humes. The wood alone is for us.
But that is wrong. How can we just hide here in the trees when all the world outside is on the move? I too wish to live freely, to leave this wood.
Do not do this. You must remain away from the Humes. Stay with the wood. Live together with the wood. This is your way.
But Fran, my sister...
I am no longer of you. I have discarded wood and village. I won my freedom, yet my past has been cut away forever. No longer can my ears hear the green word. This solitude you want, Miern?
Sister.
No, Miern. Only one sister remains to you now. You must forget my existence.
I am sorry to make you do this.
She goes against the laws of the wood. I threw down these laws. It is better that I do this. Better I than one who must uphold these laws herself. I have a request. Listen to the wood's voice for me. I fear she hates.
The wood longs for you, for the child gone from under her boughs.
A pleasant lie, that.
Be cautious. The wood is jealous of the Humes who have taken you.
I am as them now. Am I not? Goodbye, sister.
Well, I don't remember much of this part. I had a feeling she was also Fran's sister. I knew Miern was, but I could kind of tell. This is definitely an aspect of this game's storyline that probably went over my head when I was younger. It's just, we had a bit of a mini arc for Fran there, and it was actually a pretty nice one, honestly. It's just got some really sad implications in a way, like she left this place and found her freedom, but then, you know, the way the wood's magic works, she's kind of forever cut off from her past, and just, she doesn't want that same isolation on her sister, but then again, her sister wants freedom as well, and just, again, so much of that, it just would have gone over my head when I was younger, but it's just, actually, like, so, I was saying before that, oh yeah, this game's not really that big on character moments. I I must have just not remembered them. This game actually does have some very good party interactions, and remember how, like, with that scene before, I was like, oh, I like Vaughn a lot more than I used to. Well, with this, I like Fran a lot more than I used to. So, I'm, yeah, kind of glad that happened. I'm getting to change my opinions on some of these things. So, I think next time we will be progressing through the wood even further, and as they said, the wood is jealous. It might send something very, very, very big and very annoying and very dangerous to go yandere towards Fran. And we'll be probably seeing that next time. So, look forward to that. I know I'm not.